All right, folks, welcome back. We are here again with another game of Lion Rampant. So this time we are playing second edition and we're doing a Viking era skirmish here. So I've got the new copy of Lion Rampant right here, second edition. Just got it a couple weeks ago in the mail, and I've been a little too busy to really check it out. But in the meantime, I was looking over it this weekend and decided to set up a game. So in the book, they give lots of army lists that you don't see in the original. And I thought it'd be fun to do a game of Viking on Viking. So, two different leaders clashing or whatever. So it gives kind of two variants on the Norse list. So both sides have two elite heavy infantry, two elite infantry, which were the men-at-arms in the original rules, and two heavy infantry, which were the foot sergeants in the original rules. And then, so they've renamed the infantry types, which I think was a good move. Make it more, transferable across different time periods and everything. So two elite heavy infantry, which were the men-at-arms. So those would be, in the Viking era, kind of your Huskarls, your heavy troops, your best, professional fighters. Two heavy infantry, which I guess would be the Bondi. I think, you can make a case for them being light infantry, which is another classification which replaces yeoman. But yes, two heavy infantry. And then where the list switches is we have one warrior infantry or archers. So one of our sides will have the warrior infantry, previously fierce foot, and one side will have the archers. So when we play the game, I will go to the tripod, but so just bear with the shaky cam for a little longer. But this is our table setup. So we have a river running through the center. We've got a small farmstead in the middle, and then over to the side we've got some woods, and over here we've got kind of a marshy area by the river, and then some more woods. And I'll take you through the armies here as well. So on this table edge, we have got the one unit of the heavy infantry, previously the foot sergeants, another unit of heavy infantry. So you'll notice they have 6 bases each. So each base counts as 2 hit points. We have our leader, and the leader stand is mainly kind of representative. The leader is just to signify that the leader is part of this unit. And in this unit, this is a unit of our elite infantry, 3 bases, so 6 hits. We've got another unit of our elite infantry. And then we have got the warrior infantry, the berserkers, on this side. So now taking you through the opposing army, we have got one unit of the heavy infantry, so 6 hit points, a unit of elite infantry with the commander, the unit of archers, another unit of elite heavy infantry, and then on this hill here we've got another unit of heavy infantry. So both sides are equally balanced, and we are going to be playing the blood feud scenario. So I thought that was very Dark Ages, very Viking. So the leaders are going to be attempting to kill each other. So we'll get into it. Okay, so we're going to get into the game. So the side that is going first is going to be this side on the other side of the river. So I rolled randomly. They have the first go, and they will start moving in here. So we'll get the camera set up and get into some moves. So in the new Lion Rampant rule set, you can now do group moves. And so every unit within 12 inches of the general can move together. So that is what we are going to do here. So only the units on the closer side of the river are within 12 inches of the commander's unit. So those 3 units will move forward, and they need a 5+ here to do so. And they get a 7, so they are all good. So they are going to advance forward, and what they really want to do is get to the river as fast as possible, so that basically, you know, the other side is closer to the river. They've got that kind of little homestead, fortified homestead with the wall. So this side wants to close in as fast as they can to, you know, make sure that they can try and get there before the other side takes some defensive positions. And I'm gonna group them a little more loosely. We're playing with the new shield wall rules, so that you know, when they come close together, then they're in shield wall. And we're also gonna be playing with the flanking rules as well, the new flanking rules, as well as that. We also have, I forgot. Anyways, so we got this side moved up. Now we've got the troops in the... So over here, we've got 1 unit of elite infantry and 1 unit of warrior infantry. So with these troops, the warrior infantry move on a 5+, and the, the warrior infantry move on a 6+, and the elite infantry move on a 5+. So we need a 6+ for them and a 5+ for them. So we'll go over, we'll do the elite infantry first, and they clear it. So they are down to, I think actually they ignore terrain as part of their special rules. So they can move their full movement. I guess they'll just go through this side of the woods, and we're keeping, you know, units technically need to be about 1 inch apart. And our warrior infantry need 6+, and they fail, so they failed their command. So we're on to the other side. So over here, I think we want to get the archers into the farmstead, and we kind of maybe want to take a defensive line along the river bank. So we'll get into moves. So what we'll do is, this side I think seems to have kind of a stronger position, but we'll start with a, I guess we'll do a group move forward with this bunch. I think they're all within 12 inches, and we'll actually probably have to go off of the archer's value for movement, which is 6+. So we'll go over to our dice. 4, so we actually fail. The army fails to move forward. So that is looking better for the other side. They're gaining some time. So we'll go over to... So we have our warriors coming down the hill here. And again, they probably want to close into that farmstead and get there as fast as possible. So we'll do another group move here. Looking to... Looking here for a 5+, and we get it. So time to move them in. All right, so now we are over to the troops in the woods. So we're gonna go with the elite troops again. needing a 5+. And they got it. So I rechecked the rules, and actually I think they only get the their regular combat bonus moving through rough terrain, not their movement bonus. But anyways, we'll go to the warriors who do move rapidly through rough terrain, and they need a 6+ to go forward, and they do. And they can actually move 8 inches here. So they are going to be coming storming through. Oh my gosh. All right. Multitasking. All right. So we got our warriors storming up through the woods here. All right. And we'll just try and keep them a little more separate here. And yeah, I'm not being super anal about the movement distances here, as you can see, or the unit cohesions. You know, just kind of playing a friendly game against myself here. So that is all the other side's moves. We're back over to our side over here, and hopefully they can do something. So what I'm thinking is these guys will continue to kind of make a stand up on the hill, but they might need some reinforcements. And things are kind of looking up for the other side. I thought they'd be at a disadvantage, but it seems like they might be able to cross the river next turn and deny the defensive position to these guys. So what I'm thinking we'll do, we're going to try and get our elite troops. We're going to not try and do that move order again. I think that was a mistake. We're going to try and get our elite troops into that farmyard. So they need a 5+, which they get. And since they're running into that rough terrain, I think what they'll do is they'll basically just move right up to the wall. And then next turn, they will be able to cross over the wall into the farmstead there. And that little crop field is not going to count as rough terrain for this game. Just the walls and the river as obstacles. So over here, we probably want to get these guys up to the river. So they need a 5+. And they get it. So 6 inches. All right. So they'll be just about at the riverbank. So they kind of got their defensive position set up here. Okay, so now we'll go over here, and I think what we're going to do is, originally I was thinking maybe the archers would go into the farmstead, but what we'll do instead, I think, is try and destroy that wing of the army. So, and actually we'll do the archers last because they have the worst movement. So let's try and get our other unit of elite infantry up. So 2, so they fail. Having some severe motivational issues on this side of the battlefield. So we're starting to move up over here, but this wing of the army is they're not too happy about getting moving. They do have a defensive position on the hill. I might try and get them in shield wall next turn, but then we've got these marauding barbarians coming through the woods. So on to the other side. So over here, we're going to do another group move as it's a 5+, but not everyone is going to be able to quite move the same distance because we have this river interfering, which will basically half movement once they get to the river. So we need a 5+ for the whole gang to move forward, and they get it on a 7. So yeah, what it looks like basically, these fellows will get to move up to the river. Oops. Now the problem with these river tiles is they don't really stay where you want them to be. But basically, we got this group butting up into the river. So it's about 3 inches to get to the river, and then they go to half movement once they're in. So they get an additional 1.5, which basically should put them kind of straddling the river here. And again, like, I'm not being really anal about the measurements here. I mean, I'm playing against myself. I'm just trying to have a fun, relatively quick game here because I got stuff to do. All right, so on the other side here, we got our elite infantry. So they hit the river in about 2 or 3 inches themselves. So they're kind of in the similar position as the other unit. So we'll just put them right alongside. Okay, so things are not looking good for our other side over there. So we'll go over here. Again, we'll hit the elite infantry first, 5+, and we're halving their movement there because they're in the woods. So they get 3 inches. All right. Okay, so they're coming up, and then we've got our warriors who can still move at their full 8 inches due to their, I guess, wild nature there. All right, so they needed a 6+ and they got it. So they're storming up, and they have this thing called wild charge where they'll start, they'll go after anybody who's in charge radius, or they have to test not to charge, basically. So they are probably going to be coming in hot next turn. They definitely will probably have to test. We got a ferocious looking bunch of warriors there. All right, so onto our as the commander over here, things are not looking so good. We've got this raging horde streaming across the river over there. We're not really in position, and our thing is, like, we want to keep our leader from dying and kill the opposite leader. They're in a blood feud, so this guy and that chick, actually, it's a female warrior over there, the model. So they're in a blood feud, and kind of in Viking way, they're kind of surging towards each other over the homestead. So maybe I should have kept this guy back a little bit, but that's not really the Viking way, is it? So what we'll do, I feel like my most immediate danger is over here on this flank, so we're going to try and shore things up and kind of get this unit in position, but we won't really be able to form shield wall in time, I don't think. But anyways, since we're playing with the flank rules, we kind of want to get this unit so it can't be flanked there. But they are on top of the hill, but we won't be able to form shield wall because we got to move them into position. So, a 4. Okay, bad luck. So this side is really does not want to fight, I guess. So we're on to the other side. Okay, so the hill has kind of equalized the combat, but our warriors are attacking. They get 12 dice here, and they are actually hitting on 3s. Yep, attack value 3. So we'll just remove the non-hits here. All right, so they have done, get out of the way, tree. 3, so 6 hits. If it was on the flank, this unit would have taken 3 casualties, but since they are on the hill, they only take 2. So 1 base removed here. Boom. All right, so now it is time, though. They do get to battle back, so we got the defense value. So fighting on defense, actually, heavy infantry, hitting back on 4s. So we'll see what they do. So And now I'm being inconsistent in removing the hits, but whatever. All right, so actually not terrible for the defenders. The armor value of the Berserkers is actually 2. So they take 4 casualties from that. So they have definitely come off not so well. So 4 casualties is 2 bases. So we'll just take off these round ones. Okay. Okay, so now on to our courage tests. So both sides have a courage of 4, and we'll test for the defenders first. So they need over 4 here. So they have gotten a 6, and they took 2 casualties, so they are right at a 4. So equal or greater to the courage value, so they should be okay. They stay resolute on the hill. So now it's time for our Barbarian Attackers. Okay, they got a 12. And so they got a 12. Subtract 8, excuse me. So well above the 4 they needed, so they are all set as well. So the Berserkers failed to basically take the hill. So they actually have to retreat 4 inches back because they suffered the most casualties. So that just puts them basically at the base of the hill. But they do not become battered. So the guys at the top holding out for now, and actually, oh, wrong unit. But the Berserker is definitely still a threat. So we'll move on to the elite infantry. They need to move forward. They can move forward 3 inches. Test the movement here. And they do so. Okay. And yeah, am I being a little fast and loose with the movement? Yes, but they are out of the woods. On to our units here, storming across the river. So they're still at half movement, but they should be able to cross over this barricade here. So 3 inch. All right, everybody, I got a major phone call right in the middle of the game, which I had to take, and then my day got away from me. So I started this game at maybe like 9 a.m. in the morning. It's now 7 p.m. Only just getting back to it, and I got to put this all away. So let's see. We'll try and remember where we were. So I think it was still this turn, and yeah. So Barbarians charged in, the Berserkers charged in. The guys on the hill made their stand for right now. Nobody is battered. And we'll go kind of right back to the action here. So I'm going to try. I think this unit moved up through the woods. No, I don't even remember. So I guess we'll leave that unit for now. I think we were over here. Or maybe, well, who cares? We'll just go for it again. We'll try and move that unit up, see what happens. 6, so they do move up. They are out of the brush, so they can move up 6 inches. Okay. So we'll go over to the troops over by the river, and we'll do another group move on these guys. So we want to get them all across. That is going to be, they'll basically be able to move 3 inches should they be able to make it. So we're on a 5, and we got a 4, so they do not move. They're still on that side. So we'll go on to our side over here, and I'm just going to film this kind of quick and dirty because I don't have much time. So what we'll do over here, it seems like, even though they got kind of the enemies on the flank, well, you know, we should kind of reorganize them, I think. Get them so they're facing both enemies from the front. So we'll go with a, try and reorganize them to face forward. So we got a 7, so they will do that. Change the facing there. So now, they are facing the enemies from the front, but they are not in shield wall. So we'll keep them spread out a little bit. Hopefully, next turn they can get into shield wall. So we got to really support those boys. So we're going to go over here. We're going to try and get this unit to move up, needing a 5+. All right, an 8. So we have got it. 6 inches, which is basically right where the dice tray is. All right. Okay, so they're moved up to support. Next, I think I do want to get those archers forward so they can actually do a little shooting. They are moving on a 6+, which so we should do them last. What we'll do is we'll jump over here. I'm gonna put those guys in a shield wall, which I think needs a dice roll, but I'm not sure. Okay, 5. Good thing we did that. And they are in shield wall, so we'll form them all up. And shield wall, they can move a little bit. They get some defensive bonuses as well. Okay, next we'll try and get these guys across into the farmstead. 5+. They get it. And they can move 3 inches. So we'll say that kind of puts them right in here. And again, I'm not super worried about specifics here. All right, so they are in there. We'll see if next turn they'll be able to rush across and get to the wall before the enemies. And then we got to get these archers up. So we need a 6 for them, and they just about get it. So what we will do is we'll get them 6 inches. We'll get them up, lined up at the base of this hill there, so they can add some fire in. Okay, so that is everyone on this side moved, so we're on to the other side again now. So what we have to do in this game is we have to test for our wild charges. So they need to get, all right, so they got a 7. So if they get higher than a 5, they charge in. So the barbarians are once again charging into the fray. I keep on saying barbarians, but I mean berserkers. So they've charged in. Didn't go so well for them last time. Let's see how it plays out here now. So we're looking for 3s. So I'm just going to take out the non-hits. So they have actually inflicted 3, 3, 3, and 1 extra. So they have inflicted 3 casualties on this group. So take out 1 base. I'm actually just going to use a dice for right now, so, and put a 1 there. So That unit is almost at half strength. The berserkers had killed a few more. Then that unit combat ability would be lessened, but they do get to battle back, needing fighting back on 4s. Did I roll the wrong amount of dice? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they get 1 more there. 1. Okay. Didn't matter anyways. So they're battling back, and they kill them on every 2. So let's find the good dice here. 2, 2. So they also inflicted 3 casualties. So we'll remove a stand. And then I'll put another dice next to this unit as well. So berserkers not doing so hot against the spearmen. So we'll do our courage test now. So the berserker, they're both courage is on a 4, I believe. Check the sheet. Courage 4. So the berserkers, so they got a 5, and then they have taken 1, 2. So we've got 3 bases left, but down 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They only have 5 guys left, so that means they have taken 7 casualties. So they are wiped out. They run away in terror. The spearmen have defeated them. So not looking so great for the berserkers. So what we'll do now is we actually have to do the courage test for the spearmen on the hill, who have 7 guys remaining, so they've lost 5. And okay, they also get a 4 on their courage test. Subtract the casualties, they have also, that puts them below 0. They actually also run away. So a little tit for tat fighting there. Okay, interesting. Didn't expect that outcome. All right. So now we go over to our elite warriors here, who I think are probably kind of a little what the hell right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to form them into shield wall for when they, well actually, maybe they should just try and charge in, or maybe we should form shield wall. I don't know. We'll form the shield wall too, so they don't do it anyways. That's that side's move over. Okay. So we're onto our side, defending side again. I think I actually kind of want to get those archers shooting first. So the archers will shoot on a 6+. So a little riskier. So maybe we'll actually try and get some moving done first. So I do want to try and get those guys up to the wall. What we need is a 5+ for them to do that. A 7, so they do. And the distance, 6 inches, basically does put them right at the base of the wall. I'm kind of being a little fast and loose, but hey, it's a friendly game against myself. So we got them on the defensive position on the wall there. Okay, so now what we'll do is I do want to get those archers shooting. So we need a 6+ for the archers to shoot, and they get it. So now time to hopefully cause some pain to these the elite infantry on that side. All right. So what we need to hit is we're looking at 5s. So we'll take out the hits here. And the elite infantry have a defense of 4. So they're not going to take a ton of casualties. This was actually a pretty good shoot. But we're looking for those 5 ups. Okay, so we got a total of 6 hits. So we only got one section of 4 there. So that is just 1 casualty on that unit, and I'm just going to stick a dice next to them to represent that. Okay, so what I'm going to get this unit here, the unit on the hill. I want them in shield wall. So I'll roll 2 dice, and hopefully they get it here. 5, so they just about do. Boom, we're forming a shield wall on the hill. That should be a pretty nasty defensive position for them. Okay, so let's see. I think I actually want that unit over there to stay put. I don't. So I think we're actually done with orders on this side, and we're on to the other side. So I think on this side, so over on this part of the battlefield, the attack is not going so well for them. So I think they might kind of pull. Wow, do they want to do the Viking thing, or do they want to, I don't know, be cowards? We'll think about it. I guess we'll actually go over to this side first, where things are going a little better. So what we'll do is, I think, okay, so we'll send the elite warriors are going to charge in across the stone wall at the enemy. So if they're able to successfully kind of go in, they'll have stormed the ruins. Or maybe actually we want to try and soften them up with the regular warriors first. Let's do that actually. We'll try and soften them up and then send in the better troops. So sergeants are going in for the attack. And for that, they actually need a 6+, which they do get. So, boom, they're up against the wall. Kind of being used as cannon fodder. Meat on the grinder, I guess you could say. So they're charging in, and 12 dice here. Okay, sorry for the delay there. All right, 12 dice. Boom. So they're better on defense than offense, so they're actually hitting on 5s. So we got 1, 2, 3. Only 3 hits, and the defenders have a defense of 4, so they actually don't inflict any casualties at all. So now we'll go to the battle back. All right, so these defenders actually hit on elite infantry defense value of 4. So they're not quite as good as they usually would be, but still pretty good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's group them into 3s here. All right, not as bad as it could have been for the attackers, but still 2 casualties taken, so that is a base removed. And since they took those casualties, they'll have to take the courage test. And they got a pretty good VAT score, so they only took 2 casualties, so they passed that easily. So they're just kind of repulsed a little bit, but nothing too serious. So we should probably try and form into shield wall, I guess, for our next attack. So I think what we'll do is we'll get the elite unit to form shield wall, needing 5+ here. 4, so they don't get it and their turn ends. Okay, so onto the force on this side of the river. We're gonna get this unit to form a shield wall. 4, and they don't do it either. So back to the other group as well. All right, so I think we'll start over here. I want to maybe try and get those guys across the river, do some flanking. 5+. Okay, we got it. So with the river, it's like 3 inches. So they are basically just crossed over the river. All right, I think that's good enough. Okay, over on that side, we'll form the sergeants into a shield wall. Sorry. Okay. Okay, boom. Shield wall. And then we'll try and get the elite infantry over there into a shield wall, which they don't do. Okay, so now we're back onto this side. So I don't think that unit was able to form shield wall. I don't think they did it, so we'll try and do that. Okay, 6, they do it. So now they are in shield wall behind the stone wall. So that should be pretty good for them, I would think. Okay. Over on this side, I want to get those archers shooting. 6, 7, they do it. 12 dice. I dropped one. Okay. So we're looking for 5+. These archers have been practicing, I guess. So we actually got 5 hits, defense of 4 for them. So 1 casualty, so 1 base removed. So they're down to 4 dudes over there. Okay. Maybe it is time for the shield wall to make some moves on them. So that can advance at half speed, 3 inches, which puts them kind of on the top of the hill. Okay. Not looking too great for those guys over there, I guess. And actually, this is fair to do, but I'm just going to move them over a little bit so the archers still maybe kind of have that angle over on there. Okay, so that's kind of all I wanted to do there. All right, so we're on to the side attacking across the river. We're gonna, and they're actually in rough terrain, so they cannot form a shield wall anyways because they're in the river. So I guess we'll just pretend they're not in the shield wall. The unit will try and go in with our elite troops at this point. I guess this is kind of the height of foolishness, charging across a river into a well-defended position. So maybe actually we won't do that, even though I do want to kill the leader. Although it's going to be tricky to flank on that side either. So maybe we'll just have to do the Viking thing and charge across the river into the stone wall. Let's see. Oh, and they don't do it anyway. So we're back over to this team. All right, so I'm just going to say the archers can shoot over there because I need to wrap this game up. And they fail to do that as well. Okay, so back to the B team over there. Let's see. Things aren't looking so great. And the leaders are trying to kill each other, but they just don't seem to be able to activate to do so. I guess I could do a duel or whatever, but we'll maybe play a couple more turns and see what happens. So, okay, so I was going to have them charge, but they failed to do it again. So we'll go to the archers. All right, so they got an 8, more than enough to shoot at the elite infantry there. All right, so we're looking for 5 pluses, and we only got 2 above 5 plus. So the arrows kind of ding off, but this unit should be in charging range now. That looks like 3 inches to me, or less than 3 inches. So they will charge in, needing a 5 plus to charge. And they get it, so 6. So the shield wall moves in. Boom. All right, so 12 dice, hitting on 3s. Okay, so let's see. We got a lot of hits here, I think. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is 2 casualties on that unit. So boom, another base removed. But I believe combat is simultaneous, so I am going to give them the full 12 dice to battle back with. That I got to double check the rules, I guess, at some point, but that seems to make the most sense to me. All right, and they are also hitting back on 3s, but since they are in shield wall, they have a defense now of 5. So so that is 1 death, but only 1 death inflicted. So we'll just put a little marker there. So both sides need to now take courage tests. Our courage of our elite troops is a 3. All right, so they got an 8, and they have taken 4 casualties, so they still pass fine. Our other unit has taken 1 casualty, and they got a 5, so they are also fine. But this unit very clearly has lost the combat, so they retreat about 3 inches. So there we go. Over here, I think we're just going to hold as things are. So we'll go on to the next turn. Okay. So for this other side, we're going to charge in, I guess. So the elite infantry are charging in. They got what they needed to do that. So they're going to go in, but I think the other unit is going to be at a big advantage. So they did inflict some hits. So they have a defense of 6. So it's going to be tough going because they're in shield wall and they have the hill. So they take 1 casualty, which is not too bad. But since they did take a casualty, we need to test if it is the leader. Nope, we needed double 1s for that. And then they get to battle back, but they're on their defensive value, which is a 4, which I actually forgot over there, but whatever. All right, so we need 4s. And they're killing on every 4 dice because you know, the enemy doesn't get the advantage. So they also inflict 1 casualty. So we got to test to see if it's the leader. And it is not. Okay, So at this point, I think we're going to go in for the duel. Things are not looking so good for the other side. I guess we'll just play out the turn. We'll try and grind it out. We'll have the sergeants try and attack across the river there. Let's see what happens. I don't think it's going to be anything good for them, but we'll try it. So they do surge forward. They're still game. Okay, and they're hitting on 5 pluses on the offense. So yeah, they don't even inflict any casualties. Oops. All right. So the enemy, the unit behind the wall is battling back with 4s, and they're killing on every 3 dice. So they actually inflict 1 casualty on that unit. So we'll put a dice next to them. And now they have to take a courage test at -3. Their courage is 4. So as long as they get that, all right, so that covers it easily. So and then we got that unit. We'll see if they surge across. Yes, so I'm going to guesstimate 3 inches there, something like that. Coming through the woods. Okay. So onto our turn over here. So these guys I don't think want to do the challenge because they are winning fairly handily. So we're going to have our unit over there charge in, needing 5 plus. And they get it. They charge in. Boom. Still well over half strength, so they get their 12 dice. Hitting on 3s. Killing every 4 dice. So they inflict 2 casualties. So that is that unit of elite infantry destroyed. They do still get the chance to battle back, but they only get 6 dice in this case because they are below half strength. All right, and they need 5 hits on a 4, which they do get. So they do take 1 down with them before they go, but they also perish. But we still have to take a courage test for this unit. So our courage test. All right, so they've taken 2 casualties. Their courage value is 3, so they are totally fine there. All right, so we'll move these archers up. They need a 6. They get it. I'm gonna guesstimate that is 6 inches. I'm gonna move them up so they got some shots over there. Okay, and that is, I think, all I really want to do for this side. So we're going to go in on the other side, and we're going to do a duel because things are really not looking good for them. And that the Raiders trying to cross the river there, I think that is their last shot. Their last hope of success is going to be a duel. So I got to check the rules really quickly on that one, and we'll go for the duel and see what happens. Okay, so at this point, I think we're going to end things. So the duel, like, no one won the duel, but what I'm kind of seeing here is the position on this side of the river was way too advantageous, way too strong. I mean, I kind of anticipated it would be, but yeah, I thought those berserkers would do a lot more damage than they did. They didn't really do much at all. And the archers proved much more effective, I think. So I'm going to call this one a victory to this side. They basically still have all their units intact, and I don't really see a way that the Raiders on the other side are really going to be able to bring this back. So I wish I could have played a longer game, but I actually have to kind of bring this to a conclusion and move on with my day. But thanks for watching. Hope to see you again in the next one. I'm not sure when my next battle report will be, but yeah, I'm going to have some more bench updates coming soon as well. But anyways, thanks for watching. Take care, have a good one, and see you on the next video.